So what's good, people? Welcome to another investment video. And in this video, I thought it'd be a lot of fun to just see, since we're in the new year, see how different asset classes has performed over 2022. We are just 6 days in, as I'm recording this, it's January 6th. 6 days into 2023, and already we've seen some crazy things happen in the market, but we're going to focus on 2022. So I'm here on Google Finance, and I know Google Finance is not as good as Yahoo Finance, but I use Google for everything. So we're using Google Finance. And what I want to do is I want to start off with looking at the most popular stocks, and then go into the most popular cryptos, and then of course the most popular precious metals, just to see how well they performed over 2022. And since I survived 2022, I know they did terrible, but we're going to look at it anyway. So we, of course, need to start off with the Dow Jones. Let's see, we're going to go 1 year. So you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is January 7th to today, correct? Yep. January 7th through January 6th, it's been down 7%, which is actually not that bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. There was a huge dip in October. Really, really bad dip. But besides that, I mean, it kind of held steady for most of the year, and then it came back up at the end of the year. So that was good. Of course, if you invested around any of these points, you would have either broken even or lost money, unfortunately. But let's look at the 5 year. So yeah, if you invested, back here a few years ago, you'd be up right now. Even with everything being down by 7% over the year, you would still be up. So that's actually not bad. Personally, I don't see things improving. Not for a while. I think this year we're going to continue to see declines in stocks. The market's going to continue to go down, but it might be a good time to buy. If you're in the stocks, I'm actually thinking about buying some myself. Let's check out the S&P 500. We go to 1 year, and 16%. S&P 500 dropped 16% over the year. That's actually not that bad. Not as bad as I was thinking it would do. You can see once again in October it really tanked. There's a little bit of a tank back in June as well, but it started to come back in December and January. But still, 16% isn't that bad considering how terrible things were last year. If you look at the 5 year, over the 5 year, we're actually up 39%. So yeah, if you invested back here and even here, I mean, you would have made money. You would still be up over the year if you invested, a few years ago. So that's actually not too bad. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. Hit that 1 year. And down 29%. Yeah, so NASDAQ, that's mostly tech. And so a lot of the tech companies got hit really hard. They always do. They rise up the fastest and drop down the fastest. But it's gonna come back, I'm sure. But you can see that it dropped a little bit in June and October, November, like the others, but it just never recovered. It stayed down once it dropped. So I don't know if we'll see a recovery soon. I think it's still going to be a while. If at all this year, it probably won't be till really late in the year for us to see a recovery. If you check the 5 year, up 45%. So if you invested and bought shares like back here, then you still be up. So it's actually not too bad. But if you started, up here, down here, anywhere here, you lost money. You lost all your money. Not all of it. You lost 30%, which is not bad. So let's hop over to crypto. We'll start with, of course, the big boy, Bitcoin, which is at 16,000 right now. 59%. So Bitcoin's down 59% over the year. That's crazy. It's kind of hard to think. So if you bought around here, you'd lost half your money. Half your money gone. You can see huge dips in May, July, and then November, and just no recovery. No recovery in sight. What I was seeing was a lot of times it would jump back up, like it would drop and then jump back up, and you're like, oh, it's doing good, and then drop again. Jump back up, drop again. Jump back up, and then drop again. If we go over the 5-year, up 32%. So really, let's see. So back here, we're at like 9,000. Yeah, so if you invested like back here, 2020 and before, you're in profit. But anything later than that, then you've lost money. Yeah, lost a lot of money. I mean, if you invested back here, sheesh, you almost doubled your money. But of course, I do believe it's going to come back. Same with stocks. Unfortunately, there was a time when stocks and crypto didn't perform the same, but now we're getting a lot of the same investors in both, and so they're kind of doing the same thing. I don't even know if we should check Ethereum, because ETH basically does the same thing that Bitcoin does. Down 60%. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Small differences, but basically the same chart. If you go back over the 5-year, only up 10% over 5 years. Really? That's crazy. Because it was up here in 2018 January at 11, and now it's back at 11. Okay. So all those gains are all gone just like that. Wow, that's crazy. All of them are gone. But it will come back. I believe Ethereum is definitely going to come back. Just don't know when. Things are not looking well right now for the economy, so I don't really know what's going to happen. We'll look at one more. So here's one that I'm heavily invested in, BNB. Binance Coin, go with that one. 1 year, down 41%. Yeah, so that's pretty bad. Not as bad as the others, though. Not as bad as Bitcoin and Ethereum, but still really bad. Yeah, I lost a lot on this. And it basically follows pretty much the same chart. It did, like, it dropped more and then came up a lot more than the others, but it still never really recovered. 5-year, though, up 1,800%. My goodness. So I actually didn't get in 2020. I really, really wish I did, but I did not. I got in, when did I get in? I got in around here. So I've lost all that. But if you would have got in here, my goodness, you'd be rich right now. 1,800%. Man. Yeah, hindsight's 2020, as they always say. Let's jump into precious metals. Start with gold. Gold is sitting at 1,800 right now. So let's look over the year. So as you can see, over the past year, gold is up. It's only up 4.5%, which is not a lot, but it's still not a loss, not like everything else. If we go back to the 5 year, up 40% over 5 years. So it's performed kind of around what the stocks were doing, which is interesting, very interesting. But if you invested in gold, you didn't lose any money. I think that's the most important thing. You didn't lose any money last year. Didn't make much, but you didn't lose it either. And so it's not often that precious metals actually outperform everything else. It's not often that that happens. But looking at last year, it really doesn't surprise me. Let's look at, oh, here we go. We got silver right here. Look at silver, see how that's done. And I didn't want to compare the two. Clear the comparison. All right, I'll just jump up here. Silver and continuous contract. There we go. 1 year. So silver is up by 8% over the year. And once again, if you invested in silver, you didn't lose money. Now I just got into precious metals a few months ago, and I'm actually buying a lot more silver than gold just because silver is cheaper than gold. Gold is really expensive. I mean, we saw it was over $1,800 an ounce right now, and so I am buying a lot more gold, or a lot more silver than gold, and I'm hoping that it will continue this trend, continue to go up. If we go back to the 5 years, we see that it's up 39%. So it's actually kind of on par with the stock market as well, which is surprising. And another one, let's see, let's look at platinum. Here it is right here, continuous contract, 1 year, up 14%. Oh, platinum was the best performing that we've seen out of everything so far, correct? Yeah, out of everything, platinum was the best. It's interesting. Even in a year as bad as 2022, you can make money. If we look over the 5 years, only up 10%. So it's kind of like, yeah, it did the best, but over time, you didn't really make that much. But I guess if it's just a store of value, then it did its job, right? As long as you don't lose money. That's the whole point of precious metals. And we'll look at the last one, palladium. Palladium, continuous contract, 1800. Palladium is so expensive right now. So, palladium is actually down 3%, which is, I mean, that's basically breaking even. But it's the only precious metal that's down, and it's not down by much, but it is down. If we go to the 5 year, 63% over the 5 years. It would have been a good buy. Getting palladium back here and then basically getting 60% in profit, that would have been a good buy. But I mean, I had no idea palladium was going to jump up the way it did, and I don't know what it's going to do in the future, but it did really, really well. Really well. But it's the only one that's down. I don't know what palladium's going to do. I really don't. Palladium is just kind of, I don't know, it's one of those metals that kind of came out of nowhere, and it shot up. And I think a lot of people started getting into it because it shot up, and so I don't know. Maybe we'll see more use of it, more use cases for it in the future, and that could drive things up. But I don't really see it shooting up continuously. We saw that happen with platinum, where platinum was way up and then it kind of dropped down. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any palladium I keep thinking that I should, but it's like if I get like some palladium coins or palladium bars, they're so expensive, and there's not a lot of people buying palladium, so I don't know if it's really worth it. But I mean, with stuff like silver and gold, there's tons of different kinds of silver coins and bars and all sorts of stuff in silver. And so silver is fun to collect. It's really fun to buy silver stuff. Gold, almost as much as silver, but everything is so expensive. So, there's not as much being done with gold, but it's still more fun than palladium and platinum. Platinum's got some good coins. I have seen some good platinum coins coming out, but it's still not the same as gold and silver. So basically, what we've seen is precious metals beat both the stock market and cryptocurrency markets last year. If you invested in any of them, you didn't lose any money. No, you didn't really make any money either, but at least you didn't lose money, because if you put money in stocks and crypto, then you lost money. So I guess it just depends on what you want to do, how much risk you want to put into your investments and all those different things. But this is just a good reason for me to believe that I made a good decision in getting into precious metals. There's no telling what's going to happen this year. I still think the markets are going to continue to decline, stocks and cryptos. There's going to be some outliers, some exceptions, of course. But I think overall, the markets are going to continue to go down this year. And so that's a good incentive for me to get more and more into precious metals, just to protect my savings and to come out on top when we finally get over this economic crisis and get back into the bull market. So that was pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.